of the Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066 and giversplanet.com. Cayman's online platform for fundraising and charitable donations.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the Record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today's Wednesday, the 20th day of April 2022, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening, as well as a restful, peaceful, enjoyable Easter. It's been one week since I was on the air. I don't know if you missed me, but I certainly missed being, on here as well. But sometimes it's good to get a break. So today, since you haven't been able to participate in For the Record for the past week, we're going to have an open line for you all for the entire show from 7:30 until 10 o'clock. The phone lines will be open. We want to give everyone an opportunity to express themselves. I am sure that there are many persons who are still out there camping. Some people may not return to work until next week. We know that schools are still out, so many parents may be home with their children as well, while others may have to go to work. But wherever you are today, we hope and we trust that you have a great day. And if you are able to participate in our talk show this morning, please, you're welcome to certainly do so. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday to you as well. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. For those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility, we wish you a speedy recovery. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Today, they will be open for the entire show. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. You would have heard earlier Miss Susan Watson again advising you that the roads of the Cayman Islands are wet. I know It started to rain this morning around about 6:45. The forecast is or the last forecast that I received yesterday evening or last night, 60% chance of showers today, winds between 15 and 20 knots at times as well. So those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Ensure that you adjust the way you walk, the way you cycle, the way you drive, based on the road conditions. If it's raining and you're a pedestrian, you want to be aware of the fact that drivers' visibilities, the visibility for drivers is reduced, and as a result of that, you want to be extremely cautious as well. Always good when you're walking across the street, even if you're in a legal crosswalk or otherwise, always try to make eye contact with the driver to ensure that they have seen you and they also know that you have seen them. So that eye contact is important. And folks, that is why it's so important for us to have windows that are not heavily tinted so that the person outside of the vehicle cannot see the driver inside as well. So extra precautions should be taken in rainy weather as well. We're fortunate here in the Cayman Islands, or some people may say unfortunate, not to have snow like some places in upstate New York where they had up to 18 inches of snow yesterday, while we had bright sunshine here in the Cayman Islands. If you haven't heard the latest COVID update, I will share that with you as well. And this was issued yesterday, the 19th of April. And Public Health has released COVID-19 figures for the 13th to the 18th of April. Positive cases reported to Public Health during this period currently as follows. On Wednesday, on the 13th, there were 66 cases. Thursday, the 14th, there were 60 cases. Friday, the 15th, there were 46 cases. Saturday, the 16th, there were 40 cases. Sunday, the 17th, there were 36 cases. Monday, the 18th, there were 52 reported cases. The release also goes on to say that there are 702 estimated cases, active cases of COVID-19 in the Cayman Islands. 4 patients are currently hospitalized for COVID-related causes, and of these, 3 are unvaccinated. The 7-day rolling average for the 19th of April is 52. Sister Islands reported 9 new cases, leaving total cases since the beginning of the pandemic at 687. So those are the COVID-19 updates for the Cayman Islands as issued yesterday. Oh, a big shout out to our Carifta athletes as well for their outstanding performance in Carifta. We see all of the other Carifta countries, those that participated, bigging up their athletes, Bermuda, BVI, Barbados, Trinidad. They're all bigging up their athletes, and we here in the Cayman Islands want to do the same as well. Haven't seen a lot on the online media in relation to it, but I'm sure that that will come out at some point in time. Sometimes we have a tendency to lag. When it's salacious news, then it spreads like wildfire. But sometimes the good news that serves to uplift, especially our young people, that has a tendency to lag, and we need to big them up as well. Okay, also, what I want to share with you, and I'm not sure whether or not we here in the Cayman Islands are participating in this, but I see where the Premier of Bermuda is on his way to Barbados for a finance meeting. And whether or not the Cayman Islands is participating in that meeting, I'm not sure, but here is what the Bermuda newspaper has said about it. They speak about the fact that the Premier will be in Barbados tomorrow to participate in the Caribbean Financial Access Roundtable. The Premier of Bermuda was invited by Mia Amor Motley, the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance of Barbados. The roundtable is co-hosted by the Barbados government and Maxine Waters. And those of you who know who Maxine Waters is, she's a powerhouse legislator, congresswoman in the United States. She's also the chairwoman of the United States House of Representatives Financial Services Committee. The Premier of Bermuda, Mr. Burt, will be joined by the Acting Financial Secretary and the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force Chairwoman, Cheryl Lister, Chief Executive Officer of Clarion Bank, Ian Turner, and the Director of Banking Trust, Corporate Services and Investments for the Bermuda Monetary Authority, Ashley Kibble-White. Also in attendance at the Financial Summit will be senior representatives of American and Canadian banks, CARICOM heads of government, the CARICOM, an organization of Eastern Caribbean States Secretaries Generals, and the President of the Caribbean Development Bank. Tomorrow's event follows discussions that took place in Washington in 2019 before the pandemic to tackle the challenges that small island states such as Bermuda are facing with correspondent banking due to de-risking activities of U.S. banks. In addition to de-risking matters being discussed, including the scope and impact of European Union listing initiatives and actions to address the changing international standards to combat money laundering and terrorist financing. The Premier of Bermuda is quoted as saying that Bermuda's banks have faced issues with correspondent banking relationships, and these challenges have hindered efforts to diversify their economy in areas like fintech and gaming. Goes on to say that it is important that we continue to engage leaders in the United States and CARICOM to resolve these issues, which unfairly target small island states. This meeting is an excellent opportunity to discuss these and other important matters with key decision makers, while we also highlight Bermuda's financial services sector's leadership in combating money laundering. So again, I asked the question, I wonder whether or not we here in the Cayman Islands, any of our government officials or financial institutions will be participating in that meeting. We know in the past that the Cayman Islands had a tendency to sort of like want to go it alone in certain areas, and we were loosely connected with CARICOM. We are an associate member of CARICOM, and it is important that we continue to dialogue with them and also to participate in their activities because a group is much stronger than the one individual part. We're going to take a commercial break. I believe we do have a caller. We will take that caller as soon as we return. So, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
In 1904, Cayman Brac turtling captain and boat builder Daniel Jervis built a prototype Caymanian catboat named Terra, an obvious improvement on the previous canoe-style boats of the day. The Caymanian catboat was on average 16 feet long and drew no more than 8 inches of water. Painted in their distinctive catboat blue color, it provided effective camouflage when seen from below, permitting the crew to discreetly approach turtles.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
JN Money. Money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money, JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use a money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamt Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamt Motors, Walkers Road.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We do have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you, my friend?
Well, I'm here hanging in.
How was your Easter?
One day at a time. I know with the athletes, they came in, something came in yesterday, the track and field. Squad came in yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Came in from Jamaica.
Okay.
And you know, say, I there and I organized everything inside to my supervisors and stuff and get them cleared and make them came outside and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that there was not even one representative there to meet those athletes. Not one. After they did so well, we thought we had someone here to meet them. It's a shame.
What about family members? Did we have other welcoming groups out there to meet them?
No, nothing like that. Nothing. Just only those came in the staff. It was a shame, man.
What size was the contingent about? How many athletes are we talking about?
I think it looked like about almost 20 or something. I think it'll probably, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, about 20 or something.
Okay.
And then it all looked so nice and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I give you see the staff. I give the staff 100% hands up because why? Yesterday when I see that I couldn't believe it. After I organized them from inside and try to get them come outside, and I thought, no, there's somebody else. And not a soul, nobody with nothing, banners or nothing like that.
Wow. And no VIP treatment even at the airport? Because sometimes it's customary to put them in the VIP lounge and have someone take their passports and their travel, the travel documents and customs, the declaration or whatever, and give them the VIP treatment like we give heads of states sometimes, or something similar to that. That is usually what is done as well, or sometimes.
They never get nothing like that. All they got, one VIP treatment they got, is when I went and asked one of my supervisors if I could make them come through.
Wow.
And they stayed all together, and I took them through, and they went into the hall, and then the head of the delegation, he spoke to them and gave them tell them what to do and let's keep them together and stuff like that, and a whole person they went to pictures and stuff after that. Not one told press, nothing was there and nothing like that.
Wow.
But it's okay. We don't need them, They don't need them because they will get along. They're growing. And they did well, and they're going to do better.
But we have to show our appreciation, and I'm sure that there will be government events later on to honor them and show our appreciation. But we need to encourage our young people. We need to continue to encourage them.
Someone should have been there. One person alone pick up silver and gold. One high jumper.
Mm-hmm.
He picked up silver and gold, and we had 2 bronze. And we missed the next bronze. Jamaica beat the next girl in her last jump. It was a fault. I watched that.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
It was a shame. And it hurt me yesterday because my daughter used to be in a track and field. You understand? But since she get big, she has to come out of it and stuff. And she's working and stuff. And to see them youngsters, because they're all young, and nobody there to meet them, and they did so well, it's a shame, I'll say. Anyway, have a blessed, wonderful day, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my friend. I'm sure that we will hear more about this as well, as to why we didn't have an organized reception at Owen Roberts International Airport for our returning Carifta athletes as well. Of course, yesterday was a holiday. That should not be any excuse. Oh, sorry, yesterday was Tuesday. Yes, no, I'm thinking I'm one day behind. Yesterday was not a holiday. But yeah, I certainly was still in the holiday mood. But yes, I'm. If there is an explanation, we would like to hear it. If there is an explanation as to why no one was there to welcome our athletes. I have someone has shared with me, Miss Susan, YouTube. That was issued by David White in MP David White in relation to weekend sports. After when we do the 8 o'clock news, I'll bring it over to you to see whether or not that's something that we can share as well, because I think this was sent to me after I spoke about the fact that there was not a whole lot of media coverage recently on that. Now, 2 things I want to share with you. I'll probably share this one first. The jobs fair that is taking place today at the Grand Cayman Marriott Hotel from 9 a.m. until 12 noon and from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. And this is a tourism job fair hosted in collaboration with Work, Cayman Islands Tourism Association, and the Chamber of Commerce. It says attendees will be pre-registered and will have specific time slots assigned for interview discussions with employers. The media is also invited to attend, and they are allowed to take photographs. The job fair is open to Caymanians and permanent residents with the right to work. That's RERC. It offers attendees the chance to find out more about the jobs currently available in tourism and to be interviewed by employers at the job fair. Says also here that Minister Bryan will stop by during the day. That precise time has not yet been determined, or was not determined when this press release was issued. Again, we want to encourage those who are seeking jobs, please attend. And sometimes, sometimes we have to lower. I'll talk more about this because there's a lot to talk about here in terms of how this needs to be approached. And if you're a job seeker, sometimes you have to lower your expectations just to get your feet in the door. But we'll talk more about that, and hopefully those of you out there will participate. And if you have any advice for job seekers, to share them with us as well. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation will continue. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Foster's is 7:59.
This Earth Month, Foster's is sprouting knowledge to help you eat healthily and live sustainably.
Just head to fosters.ky/earth-month to learn about nutrition, the growing process, and curbing your wastage on 5 common fresh products.
Did you know you can shine and fertilize your indoor plants with a little TLC and a banana peel?
Learn more tips like this on our social channels at Foster's K-Man on Facebook and Instagram. Plus, learn about the sustainable giveaways we have in store this Earth Day.
Go to fosters.ky/earth-month
to sprout knowledge this Earth Month with Foster's.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman-Brac and Little Cayman.
Shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by Value. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Island.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. A Cayman Enterprise City firm releases a global report on artificial intelligence with Ernst & Young. Euler Digital SCZC, based in Cayman Enterprise City, acquired AI Forum Ltd. Back in February, with the company just releasing a new global study on enterprise AI. The report describes key trends regarding adoption, expenditure, and digital transformation. It also highlights the challenges relating to governance, scalability, and skills. The chairman of the AI Forum Advisory Board says after analyzing data from more than 1,700 AI expert practitioners, Euler estimates that less than 20% of organizations have AI awareness training in place. He says this shows that AI is not as established as may generally have been thought, adding that it provides an opportunity for employers to accelerate their AI plans, leading to future competitive advantages. As part of this, Cayman Enterprise City has also announced that the AI Forum's inaugural conference will be taking place right here in the Cayman Islands in September. And the Central Caribbean Marine Institute is hosting a free reef lecture tomorrow night on climate change and the decline of the world's coral reefs. The presenter is part of the institution's team, which is undertaking an 18-month project funded in February by the European Union to the tune of just under €258,000. Project lead Dr. Gretchen Goodbody-Gringley says the project is looking at the ability of corals to tolerate differences in temperature.
We can then use this information to improve the success of our restoration processes. By selecting for individuals with higher thermal tolerance, we can test to see if that does in fact translate into greater growth and survival once they've been put back out onto the reef in a restored population.
This project will build on CCMI's past research, incorporating their understanding of coral restoration disease resistance and outplanting methodology. Improved restoration strategies informed by the project will be shared locally and regionally, ultimately to support the increase of coral resilience throughout the Caribbean. Now, to register for tomorrow night's lecture, you can head to reefresearch.org. Now, with the check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. A Ukrainian Marine commander in the besieged port of Mariupol has issued a desperate appeal to world leaders to extract soldiers and civilians who, he says, are trapped in a steelworks there. In a video address, Major Serhiy Voliner said they were probably facing their last days or hours in the Azovstal complex and were outnumbered by Russian forces 10-1. Efforts to try to evacuate civilians from elsewhere in Mariupol continue. The Election Commission in the Philippines has cleared the way for the son of the dictatorial former leader, Ferdinand Marcos, to run in next month's presidential poll. It dismissed a bid to disqualify Bongbong Marcos for deliberate tax evasion. A radio DJ and opposition activist in Hong Kong has been jailed for more than 3 years for sedition. Tam Tak Chi hosted a talk show that was critical of the government. The Chinese city of Shanghai has further relaxed COVID lockdown restrictions. Nearly half of its residents, 12 million people, can now leave their homes, but dozens of towns and cities in China are still in lockdown. East Timor's veteran independence leader José Ramos Horta has won the presidential election. He comfortably beat Francisco Guterres, the current president and a former guerrilla fighter. India's Supreme Court has ordered the authorities in Delhi to stop the demolition of shops in a district that was the scene of violence during a Hindu religious procession on Saturday. Bulldozers had just begun to destroy properties in a mostly Muslim part of northern Delhi. At least 4 people have been killed in an explosion at a coal mine in southern Poland. 7 others are still missing. Reports from Slovakia say the former Prime Minister Robert Fico has been charged with involvement in a criminal organisation and tax offences. Mr Fico cannot be arrested without parliamentary approval. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Attention parents and guardians. Any child who is 5 years old by 31st August must be enrolled in an approved educational program, including government, private, or homeschooling program. Registration for the 2022-23 academic year begins on 1st April. Applications received before 1st April will not be considered. Detailed students' registration guidelines and forms are available on the Department of Education Services website at www.schools.edu.ky or by emailing edu.registration@gov.ky.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 84%. The barometric pressure is 29.96 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east at 11 knots. Overnight low temperature was 77 degrees. Synopsis indicate fresh northeasterly winds and rough seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours as a high-pressure system moves over the eastern United States. Periods of isolated showers are expected to move across to the Cayman area as the surface and upper-level trough move over the western Caribbean for the next 24 hours. Satellite images show scattered low clouds over the Cayman area moving towards the southwest. The forecast for today and tonight calling for partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise to the mid-80s today and will fall to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be east to northeast at 15 to 20 knots, and seas will be rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. Small craft should continue to exercise caution over the open waters for today and tonight as well. High tide will be this morning at 11:40, low tide this evening at 6:19. The sun will set this evening at 6:43 and will rise tomorrow morning at 4 minutes past 6. And the outlook is calling for continued periods of cloudiness and showers through Friday morning, as the upper level trough lingers over the western Caribbean.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Head east on Cove Road. Sharp left on Church Street. Sharper left. No, your other left. Did I say left? No, you missed it. Okay, I'm lost.
With money-saving bundling options for home and motor, we're like a GPS that doesn't steer you wrong. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Let's stop and ask for directions.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look what's happening on the roads. Traffic is steady coming off of Bobby Thompson Way and Agnes Way. Traffic is busy on the Linford Pearson Highway. Steady traffic coming off of Esterly Tibbetts Highway. Remember, roads are wet, so please drive with extra caution. As we look to Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is moderate in both directions. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is steady heading to Georgetown. And coming from Georgetown heading to the West Bay area, traffic moving on moderately. Into Georgetown on Shedden Road, not looking too bad as traffic flowing at a good pace. And light to moderate traffic flow on Owen Roberts Drive. And on Northstown Road, traffic is moderate in both directions. That's the very latest on your traffic. If you've seen accidents or incidents on Cayman's roads, give us a call here at Radio Cayman, 949-6990. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock for another traffic report. Have a good morning and click it or ticket.
Subway is serving up a special new sauce, bursting with flavor in every bite. The new Savory Collection is a tropical sweet and spicy sauce made with a combination of spices, habanero peppers, thyme, onion, black pepper, ginger, citrus juices, and molasses.
So good.
Wow.
Sensational. Delicious.
Subway's Savory Collection pairs perfectly with our oven roasted chicken or steak sub. Savor the flavor. For a limited time, only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Refilling and transferring your prescriptions have never been this easy. Simply go to healthcarepharmacy.ky and follow the easy directions from your desktop, mobile device, or tablet. All you need to do is pop into Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor to collect your prescription. They're open 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 10 till 6 on Sundays and public holidays. No waiting in line, no wasting your lunch hour, no stress. Just easy online prescription refills and transfers from the pharmacy that has been caring about your health for 25 years. Call 947-8900 to speak to a pharmacist or go to healthcarepharmacy.ky and make life easy.
It's in our name. Fried chicken, it's our thing. Others may try, but we have the original. We put the extra and extra crispy. And our secret in everyone's mouth. So if we want to make the best chicken sandwich, we just need to put our name on it. New Kentucky Chicken Sandwich. An abundant triple breaded filet, premium mayo and pickles, all in a buttered brioche bun. The best chicken sandwich had to be KFC.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio to make up for absence of a whole week. We are going to have an open line for you for the entire show, so you're welcome to call in. Our toll-free number 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037-949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at canDW.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261. Ms. Susan, we have a YouTube WhatsApp message that was sent in. But before we do that, I want to just go back to this job fair that is being tourism job fair hosted in collaboration with Work, Cayman Islands Tourism Association, and the Chamber of Commerce, taking place today from 9 o'clock until 12 noon, and then from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. The advice is that attendees will be pre-registered and will have specific time slots assigned for interviews / discussions with employers. I would put the word in there with prospective employers, even though they're employers in a sense, but to the persons who will be interviewing, they would be prospective employers. Media are invited to attend, and you may take photographs as well. The job fair is open to Caymanians and permanent residents with the right to work. It offers attendees the chance to find out more about jobs currently available in tourism and to be interviewed by employers at the job fair. And it also says that the Minister of Tourism, Minister Kenneth Bryan, will stop by during the day. The prescribed time has not yet been determined. So again, we're encouraging those of you who have an interest in tourism jobs to go. You will be pre-registered, and then you will have interviews and discussions. Sometimes you have to compromise, and the important thing is to get your feet in the door. What you want to bear in mind that employers, when applying for work permits, are only required to advertise on the Jobs Cayman portal. That is with work. They're not required to advertise anywhere else. They may choose to advertise in the newspapers and everything, but the minimum requirement for them is that they advertise on Jobs Cayman. So go out there, have your interview, take notes if you need to in terms of your interview as well. We have 2 callers on hold, so again, I'm going to interrupt that because I want to talk about some of the regulations that apply to them. Yeah, we're going to play the voice. No, we'll take a caller, then play the voice note after Miss Susan. How about, which one you prefer? We're going to take the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning. Good morning. How are you, my friend?
Welcome back.
Thanks.
And, kind of miss you, but, with all of this stuff that is happening, but, no, we still appreciate you being there.
Thank you.
Some of our frustrations every now and then, because it seems like that's only how we can express ourselves, and, so I thank you for the show. Jose, have you seen that statement that the Premier of Nevis made regarding their beaches?
Yes.
I was really impressed with that, and I wish we, as Caymanians and representatives of this country, would have more gall and come out and make statements like that regarding our beaches, because, when you let things get out of hand, this is exactly what happens. People take it and they abuse it, and they take our kindness or weakness and everything else, because it's like a termite. You give a termite an inch, and it's no different. Some people, they just think that they can do whatever they want when they want. And I'd just like to make another state point.
Sure.
I was in Dubai a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And we went to the expo, and I was hoping to see, Cayman delegation there. And we got there on the 24th, I think it was, last month. And we made all inquiries to see, to go to the Cayman stand. And we were told that they left on the 22nd. And, everything that we read about, it was telling us that they were supposed to be there till the end of the month. So
okay.
I was very disappointed in that, because of the amount of effort we put to go to the expo, just to see what we were stand for, and, how how we were trying to be viewed by the world and feedback and stuff like that. But, you know, the disappointment was they left, and I don't know why was that, you know, and everybody else was there. And, you know, from what I understand, that at the end of the month, I mean, there was not one car parked in space that you could find in that place. There was hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world that attended the last part of it. But, you know, I was very disappointed because I just wanted to see what it was all about and what we were representing and how we were being represented and stuff like that. But I didn't get to see that. So. And you say the information that you had when you did your research in terms that they should have still been there the date that you went. Yes. Yeah, they were supposed to be there till the end of the month. So at some point in time, I need to speak to Kenneth regarding that because my daughter lives in Dubai, and I want to see because I mean that place has a lot of potential for young, young people that wants to, travel, and she's into all of this. So I'm hoping in some way that I can make contact with Kenneth to see if there's some way that she can represent Cayman, while she's there. Because, I mean, I've talked to quite a lot of people, and I even took my hat with me that says the Cayman Islands, and nobody knows about the Cayman Islands. Everybody I spoke to, all in the restaurants, I mean, all the different places, nobody heard anything about Cayman. Is that America? Is it in Europe? I said, no, it's right in the middle of the Caribbean. So we need more exposure for Dubai as far as from a tourist standpoint. And I'm hoping that, my daughter can fit in somewhere. So I'll speak to Kenneth. So okay, I'm looking at the website here, and it says as part of our collaboration with the United Kingdom government, the Cayman Islands government will share the spotlight at the United Kingdom Pavilion from January to March 2022 and fully occupy the pavilion one day for each month to showcase all that the Cayman Islands is and has to offer. So one day for each month from January to March 2022. Okay. Yeah, well, that's correct. They were there. They were in the same area because we got the information from some of the English people that was there that was familiar with them being there. Mm-hmm. So that is correct. So, but I just thought they would have been there till the end of the month. I see. So okay. A little bit disappointed. Okay, Ossie, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that as well. Ms. Susan, I'm going to grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Ossie. Good morning to everyone. Good morning. How are you? How was your Easter? Oh, fine. Thank you very much. Thank God everything was okay and safe. You had a quiet Easter and everything. Thank God. Regarding the gentleman just thought he was Mr. Thompson just talking about the situation with Dubai and everything. Just for a joke, I told him maybe if he had told him that Cayman had plenty of dollars, they would have knew where it was because everybody knows my money. That's what they say. Cayman dollar has become a D, and everybody found it. We're known all over the world, so I don't know how they didn't know something about that one, but maybe they were promoting us on something else at that time, and we didn't know nothing about. And another subject regarding the job fair. I'm glad to hear that we're having a job fair, but I hope that the job fair will go as good or better, I should say, than the last one, because I know a few people that went to the job fair, applied, and up until now haven't got a call to say whether you was interviewed or not. And we also need to look into it that when they're applying to these jobs, I'm glad that you said, get your foot in the door before, but what they're using the excuse is overqualified. Overqualified. Now you can't tell me, like I said before, you can't tell me if I decide to go for pump and I'm an accountant and that's what I choose to do because I want to make a living because there's nowhere else to get me. You should be glad that I came and took that job because I'm coming to do it to the best of my ability. But they need to cut out this shit about about the job fair, about the overqualified. That's past beyond the mark.
Now, you know, one of the defenses that is used in terms of a person being overqualified is the fact that an employer, a potential employer, will feel that because of that person's qualifications, that they're not likely to spend a long time with their organization unless they're in a position to for some upward mobility. And that is why sometimes, or that's the reason that some employers give for not wanting to hire persons whose qualifications exceed what they're seeking, because they don't believe that they're going to be there for the long haul.
We can get a work permit holder. They're coming in with the same qualifications, and they're not all qualified. Some of them are coming in here as accountants or whatever, and they're applying as their masters and everything. But after they get their foot in the ground, then they're going into the real estate, or they're going into other professions where their work permit had nothing to do with that at the time, but they're allowed to move up the ladder, and nobody says anything but that. So, but that's how they want to use as a good excuse to say that's what they're trying to keep Caymanians out. But they want to work permit holders because they can be dominant over them, control them, and tell them what they're going to do and when, where, and how.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning, OC.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Boy, hanging in. Yeah. OC.
How was the Easter?
Pretty good, quiet. We played some dominoes and, took it easy.
Yeah, did you get a six low or drop one?
We picked up one and I think we dropped one.
All right.
It wasn't nothing to really write home about.
How's the level of play in over in the BRAC compared to the Grand Cayman? You know, I was thinking about that the other day. You don't hear about domino tournaments and stuff like that that you used to before.
No, because with all of this coding and stuff now that
open code, yes, open code.
It's hard to have a tournament with coding and stuff, and there's so many different little tactics with it.
That's dominoes on steroids.
Yeah, but I tell them what Donald Brown used to say. We decode the coders. I've been seeing, Anyway, what I call about, man? OC, come in June, it'll be 18 years since we taken over the bakery,
Okay.
Up here. And believe it or not, when I came here to try to take it over, or did take it over, the place was like ready for the dumps, look like. Because at one stage I found a chicken almost getting ready to lay eggs and up inside there, And, yesterday, my wife and I, we did a lot of work to that place, my friend. And yesterday we had a woman from the environmental came up here, and all the staff now have to go into some course that they have, food handling course and stuff like that. And over the Easter, man, it was people from all over came to the bakery to buy stuff, And I gotta say, the staff did extremely well, by accommodating these customers, and I mostly sort of do a lot of setting up in the night, and if anything sort of break down, when I came here, everything was like on a bump, because it wasn't maintained properly. No one gave the about getting it in the proper shape. I'll tell you a little short bit. The mixer and the oven, the two main components that you need into a bakery, both of them were just about short, ready to go to the dumps. And I took my time, went through and seen what the problem was. It cost us something like £713 to FedEx a seal for the mixer. That was completely ignored by the owners and the people that were operating it. That they wasn't about to spend that amount of money. It was just mixing, and half of the stuff was coming out through the bottom.
Wow.
I repaired it, OC, and it don't leak a drop from dent that I put it in 2004. It's still operating perfect.
That's 18 years, wow.
You're right. So on the oven, I had to go inside there. I read it there no longer in Remembrance Day on the holiday because you have to give it a longer time to sort of cool down.
Mm-hmm.
And I took out all the burners, all the offices, cleaned them out, and put them back. Everything in there is lighting up now. We got like 8-9 inches of blue flame. That's what you need inside. You don't need no yellow flame in the oven. You understand?
The blue flame is the hot. That's the heat, where the heat is.
So if you see the list that the someone water say now that we have to do, but also it goes further than that. If somebody want to shut us down and come and buy it because the police station property is available, I'm telling you the way how I see it, what is being played out, and I might be wrong. I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but I tell you what, a lot of people have noticed the progress that we have made in it, and somebody won't got a look at it. You understand?
So you think that the list that she has provided to you, that it is
it's minor stuff.
Okay.
But, the way how she wanted sort of frighten up everybody, and that's how it seemed to me. And I told her, I said, boy, the place really not for sale.
Yeah.
And whoever sent you to do the dirty work, you can give them the message it's not for sale. You understand?
So she was trying to use the stick rather than the carrot.
I guess so.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Man, it was my wife really that encouraged me to, or convinced me to try to buy this bakery. I grew up in a bakery. I didn't want to see a bakery again in my life, but she finally convinced me to buy it. And I'm glad that I was convinced to buy it because I see where, everything sort of fits right in with our, I guess, life, And, sometimes when you go at things in this world or these days now, you have to be careful because there's so many people that got money that think, well, boy, he'll sell out tomorrow.
Yeah, they see the opportunity. They see the opportunity there. Yeah, and they may have visions that may go beyond, your vision as well. Yeah. Got to go to a commercial break, but thanks for sharing that with us. And we're going to be here until 10 o'clock, so please feel free to call back. I'm sure that I'll have some more topics that I'll be talking about that will pique your interest as well. So please feel free to call back, folks. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue, so please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
JN Money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank? Yeah. Pay your bills quick? Yeah. Low fees, you know what it? Yeah. JN Money, we are pick? Yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank? Yeah. Pay your bills quick? Yeah. Low fees, you know what it? Yeah. JN Money, we are pick? Yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
Every day in the Cayman Islands, nonprofits and their volunteers work tirelessly, improving our communities and the lives of the people within them.
With GiversPlanet.com, you can make a difference by supporting a fundraising effort or starting your own. Givers Planet provides an online solution to conveniently raise money for your worthy cause. Whether you are fundraising for medical needs, education, animal welfare, youth programs, religious missions, school PTA efforts, or a nonprofit.
Simply create your fundraiser at GiversPlanet.com and spread the word to your local and international supporters so that they can visit and make a secure online donation. Start fundraising online today with GiversPlanet.com.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have one caller on hold, but we're going to play the voice note now, Miss Susan. So we're going to just ask our caller to hang in there. We're going to play something that we received as well. Okay, we're going to go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Bruce Number here.
Hey,
how are you today?
I'm fine, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Now, this call is especially for one person, and that one person is a lady who calls your show very often. And I think last time that I heard her call, she was asking me to call back again and to say how succession planning worked where I came from.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just thought, well, let me call and just repeat how succession planning went where I came from. Now, to be clear, I came from a so-called independent country, so that it was not an overseas territory.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the principle still applies to the extent that a Caymanian person is not, in a sense, a British person. It's a different country with people brought up in a certain way, and there's a way in which government, at least in theory, has said they want to ensure that Caymanians should hold as many posts as possible. Now, the way it worked where I came from, in my own personal experience, I had about 5 or 6 years experience writing legislation. I had prosecuted as well for a while. But they had earmarked me to take over as the head of the legislative drafting department, which was called the chief parliamentary draftsman.
Uh-huh.
And they told me clearly, I think you are doing well. You can take over this position. There is an expatriate working in that position. But I told them, I said, well, I need to get additional training. I applied for a scholarship, a Commonwealth scholarship, a Canadian Commonwealth scholarship. I got the scholarship. And I came to Canada for 2 years and 5 months. By then, I'd already been to the UK for 5 months, again, learning the same trade. Then after that, when I came back, they gave me the job. They gave me the job on a 6-month basis to act. And when they found that I was good enough, they promoted me. The expatriate was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so that's the way it's supposed to be. And in Cayman, like I've said before, what they need to do is let the deputy governor, let him draw a program. Let him draw some targets for people to take over certain positions. He can work in coordination with the chief officers, the heads of department. They draw a program. They say in 5 years we want so many positions in each department to be Caymanized. And once they do that, they go to cabinet. Cabinet agrees to it, makes comments on it, and then the governor then and his chief officers, they go out there now to go and appoint these people. And I don't know why that is not possible. Now, the problem in Cayman partly is brainwashing as well. People have been brainwashed to think that other people are better than them. I came from a country where practically we were told that you were brainwashed. We were told that you were brainwashed to think that a person from outside is better than you now. That is not right. You are as good as them, and in a sense, you are even better because you know the society. You come from within the society. Yes. And people in Cayman need to be de-brainwashed, not all of them. Some politicians and some people who are not politicians, but what I have to emphasize, including some educated Caymanians, are brainwashed in that sense, and they need to be de-brainwashed, although that job has to start really in school, so that once you de-brainwash people, make them believe in their own people, then you can make sure that you are meeting certain targets. Now, last point I should make, you see, the deputy governor does a good job, but I have to criticize him from time to time. You see, there was a time when there have been times when people have complained to him to say, well, I'm being treated in this way and that way. And he has said, well, just accept the decisions of your heads of departments and your chief officers. But he has only done that when it suited him. There was that case against the Director of Human Resources in Education, where he was not even supposed to be involved in the recruitment process. That was contrary to the Public Service Management Law. But he got involved, but not to ensure that a Caymanian is appointed. He got involved to ensure that a non-qualified Caymanian is appointed over two qualified Caymanians. So that, you see, those are the issues that need to be dealt with in Cayman. For example, you've got the issue of articles. People who study to be lawyers, they get their degree, and now they need articles so that they can qualify as lawyers. I mean, I found it to be an absolute joke that people can't find articles. Where I came from, when the government trained you and you got your degree, government guaranteed you articles in the Attorney General's chambers, in the Registrar of Lands and Deeds, in the court registry, in the Directorate of Legal Aid, sometimes even in the private sector. They guaranteed you articles because they told you that once you've spent 3 years already getting a degree, we don't want you to waste time and then after that have to struggle for that. And yet in Cayman, I found that there are people who have never actually qualified as lawyers. Why? Because the government never guaranteed them anything. So those are the things that the way in which, where I came from, for that lady, this is for you. In the old program, you remember, OC, there used to be a program on TV which was called You Ask for It, You Must Remember That.
Yes.
So, I am giving this story here because that lady asked for it.
Okay, before you go, speaking about articleship, is that something that is it outdated now? Do we have a modern equivalent that can be used in terms of training lawyers rather than using articles?
Well, wherever you go, see, there is, well, I shouldn't say wherever you go because I know people who go, I think, to the New York bar. You just go and you study and then they give you the thing, and you would know that better than I do. But you see, in the British system, there's always the issue that you go for articles. But what I can comment on is that it is made unduly difficult in Cayman. Yeah. The way I did articles was 1 year. And the way it was organized was that after you get your degree and you now are doing your bar exam, we used to go to work in the morning and fill out a diary, okay? And they tried to make sure that you had a variety of work. I mentioned how, you would go and work in the Registrar of Lands. I worked in the Registrar of Lands. I worked in the civil registry of the High Court. I worked in the prosecution as well. So in the morning, you go and work, and you fill out a diary, and it is endorsed by your supervisor. In the afternoon, you go for class. At the end of that, well, you sit an exam. It used to be 9 courses at that time. It is now 10. And then once you pass, and then you are called to the bar. I remember, I think the Honorable Ezra Miller also did mention this about how it is overly difficult. I think in Cayman it's like 18 months, and it is so long, and it is done very often after. But I think it is done after you have done the exam, you know.
Right.
No. We used to do it all together, and that can be really improved. The other thing about that article thing, I think, in my view, too many people are being failed in that thing. I think too many people are being failed in Cayman, and then it is so stringent. I know bar exams anywhere you go, they are not easy to pass. So I don't want to give people a false thing. But in Cayman, they've got this thing that you go there, and you have to pass all the 10 courses at once. Otherwise, if you fail 1 or 2, it means you've failed the whole exam. However, if you fail only up to 2 of the 10, you can ask for special permission to sit again. But once you fail the second time, then you are finished. So you can't be called to the bar. Your degree will go stale after 7 years.
Yeah.
And to me, I mean that is overly hard, and all those things need to be looked at. I don't think they are being looked at. So anyway,
Thank you.
Those are the stories.
Thank you very much, Billy. You have a great day. Please stay safe as well. We have a call.
You too, thanks.
Okay. We have a caller on hold. We will take that caller as soon as we return from our commercial break, so please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Are you feeling sick but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy to understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
JN money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money, JN money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use a money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to the phone lines as promised. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
I am well. I am very well. And I just got a story to tell. I'll tell you one of my little stories.
Okay.
At one time, I thought when I came under the auspices of the 37.5 for a full week, I felt like a queen every time. I walking about with my queen hat on, all kinds of good stuff. But I never was allowed from Wednesday to Wednesday unless it was a kid. I never, thank God, I never had no death mourning thing to collect, and I never had no baby thing to collect and things like that. But it was always called a holiday then.
Yes.
You know, that time that they God give you according to the law.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, people, and I mean, we were living in the same country, same things. But some people get, what? 8 days. Poor niggas, we got 4. But anyhow, I have a fear. We were punishing, and you know we were punishing. I said, I wonder if he would give us a little Easter present. Just surprise us.
I would have gladly come into the studio, and I'm sure that Miss Susan would have been on the other side of the controls as well. And maybe that is something that we need to think about, because
there we go. Thank you. Oh, you picked it up. Okay, I love you. Let's go down the line now. Talking about our friend that he's not really my friend, you know, but you know we from one street over. Everybody in this country is one street over.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a wonderful time. What do you call them? The 60s and the 70s in the Cayman Islands. 50s, 60s, and 70s. I like to hear you talking about how you can stand your ground, my friend Abdullah Brack. You know, we can be praying for you.
Yeah.
Stand your ground. Stand your ground.
Yeah.
And you know, happy Easter was left of it, because you know Easter not over for us.
Mm-hmm. No, I think some civil servants have a tendency, because of the position that they occupy, and because of the authority that they have been that has been vested in them by legislation, have a tendency to go a little bit far. I'm not saying that this is the case there, but I'm sure that it is a situation where he could sit down with them and say, okay, this I can achieve, within a certain period of time. This seems reasonable. We would hope and we trust also that if he feels that something is unreasonable, that there is some avenue for him to address that as being administrative unreasonableness or something, as well. But I had a situation where officer in the planning department and a family member of mine was replacing a wall. The wall was there before. No planning approval was necessary because the wall was being replaced. The person drives into the yard, sticks the enforcement notice, to cease and desist construction, not even knocking on the door to find out, if the occupant was there, to explain to them, what was what, and then basically just drives off. That's not the way that you do business. In talking with persons who are familiar with that particular officer, pointed out that that particular officer has a tendency to be heavy-handed. When you get heavy-handed persons in your departments, you need to deal with them, because if they are the face or part of the face of the department, then it is something that needs to be addressed and needs to be addressed quickly.
Well, that's why I say who he is, but who you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that we all know these things go on, and they go on every day, and they go on all the time. So I just glad that he has made up his mind, but he's very rough. and you're not going to calm him down just like that. So I'm glad that he decides to stand his ground.
Mm-hmm,
and, it is high time that we reach a level of maturity where we have a place where we can complain about civil servants. Yes, the civil service is I believe it's a great organization.
Mm-hmm,
but to have those people who would make the ones who work the hardest, do the most work, make the most sacrifices, because it's an organization where most times you end up having to sacrifice your time, your energies, and sometimes even your income is, because if you work so long, your income not changing, whatever. But you can't just do things like that. So I'm glad whom man standing his ground.
Yes. Yeah.
Encourage more people to do the same. There needs to be a place where you lay a complaint.
Mm-hmm. And you know,
well known.
And while he said that he didn't want to believe it and he had no proof, but he hopes that this isn't being directed towards him because someone else may have their eyes on his establishment and wanting to get in there and do things because, you know, we talk about the Cayman Islands and when we compare ourselves to many other jurisdictions, we do quite well
in the Caribbean. You don't have to leave the Caribbean to make the comparison.
Yeah, and we do quite well, you know, as far as you know, not being corrupt is concerned. But we shouldn't in any way believe that we're completely free, you know, of it. Yeah.
Listen to me. I sit under the bread for I want an accident to happen. But the previous caller started off talking about, you know, job situations in the Cayman Islands and giving his examples of his own experience in his own country and their policies, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
He made one little speech that, you know, more persons with higher education need to be, like, I came to the conclusion, need to be educated. Well, they're the rare ones that need education of all kinds. The book learning, as though people would say, and then the street smart, and then little common sense to balance all to them arms out. Because the Caymanian that got a little piece of paper, you would swear that they had never had to eat a flitter in their life, or they may never have eaten a flitter in their lives. And if they did, it was an ordeal for them. Because once they get that little piece of paper, they goes plump crazy. But that's what we're full of. People who got one little piece of paper, they don't necessarily the smartest persons. They were just able to get it together and keep it together to achieve or attain the little piece of paper. And, you know, we all know as local people, we take to it and we goes completely crazy. So I believe the ones with little, especially if it's a little overseas education, oh my goodness, we can't help ourselves. But that's the thing. I can use a legal term, being I know that person that just called, but as a lawyer, it is relied upon by the other side that we will lose the little bit of marbles we may have had, as if we had any, but we will lose our little bit of marbles when we get a little piece of paper and they put us down now in the community where we had come out of. Oh, my goodness. But anyhow, that's just me talking about us. But going back to some things, you know, being a kind of lawyer talk just now,
mm-hmm.
I want to find out in the DPP office and in the Attorney General's office, what kind of protocols that the government got in place that could help out with some of the articling situations that goes on here in Cayman with Caymanians coming out of the Cayman Law School. Could these two departments, or if it's a department or ministries or whatever, could they be helpful in any way, especially to the real Caymanian
mm-hmm.
person
mm-hmm.
who won't fare well in corporate lawyer Cayman for articling, and they don't fare well, and the history is there. How does those two departments or areas come on board to facilitate, to help what seems to be unfair from afar?
I think they do some they do assist some, whether or not they do as much as they can do, or whether or not government needs to look at them and you know, funding them in such a way that they can encourage more persons. One of the caller that Billy referred to, and I can mention her name because she has, you know, identified herself, Miss Lorna Bush, and talking about the government bonding. I think that would be certainly an area where it could be looked at, that if you are articled with the government of the Cayman Islands, you do your articles there. Once you call to the bar, then you spend a certain amount of time working in the DPP's office or the AG's office before you can go into private practice. Because when we look at all of the Crown Councils that we bring into the Cayman Islands, many of them that are in the Cayman Islands, many of them we bring from abroad as well. But I have to interrupt you because it's top of the hour for the news at 9 o'clock. Welcome you to call back and converse, because I have some more stuff that I'll be shaking the trees with, and you'll hear the fruits dropping, as well. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after headline.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Public Health reports 300 cases of COVID-19 reported in the Cayman Islands between Wednesday and Monday, with an estimated 702 active cases. 4 patients are in the hospital. The rolling average for Tuesday climbed to 52. A deadline issued by Russia for Ukrainian forces in Mariupol to lay down their weapons has passed with no sign of surrender. A Marine commander in Ukraine's last stronghold in the southern city, a steelworks plant, says his men might only have hours left. In a video sent to the BBC and other media, Major Sergei Volynya said his troops will not surrender but want evacuation to a third country. President Volodymyr Zelensky says, quote, the situation in Mariupol remains as severe as possible. Ukraine has reached a preliminary agreement with Russia for a humanitarian corridor to evacuate civilians there, but these have failed in the past. Russia is trying to capture the eastern Donbass region in a new offensive, but UK intelligence says Ukrainian forces have fought off several attacks. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. The phone lines are open until 10 o'clock this morning. Because of our absence for a whole week and For the Record, we're giving you special opportunity today, as well. So one of our listeners has written in and said, good morning, Mr. Connor. The problem with the Work Jobs Cayman portal is that it is very difficult for job seekers to register on it, and furthermore, not working or impossible to access. So, an employer advertises a vacancy on the portal. Caymanians cannot get on the portal to see the job or are unaware of it. Once the expiry date has arrived, then if no Caymanians apply via the portal and the employer has the say on the work permit application form, no Caymanians applied, or some other excuses, the board or work does not have the resources to investigate. So bingo, there goes another work permit. It is not the employer's fault in all cases. Instead, the system is broken. This matter is a long ticking time bomb. And my understanding is that work is being done on that portal to improve, on that. I believe the authorities are aware of its shortcomings and will be working feverishly to resolve that issue as well. Because one of the criticisms that I always had of the system was that an employer could always say Caymanians either no Caymanians applied or some Caymanians applied. But there was never any formal way for that Caymanian applicant to advise that they actually had applied for a job that was advertised. In many instances, they either had to rely on writing to the authorities and hoping that their correspondence reached the particular board, whether it be the work permit board or the business staffing plan board or the administrators who are authorized to approve work permits. And that is one area that we still need to look at to allow Caymanians who have applied for jobs to be able to say, I made an application for this particular job that was advertised. Now, that's what I think the portal is intended to, part of what it is intended to accomplish, but that hasn't been done. So in many instances, more reliance is placed on what the employer advises. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some employers out there who will give you a full reckoning of those persons who applied for the jobs and why they were not successful as well. But what that writer has said in relation to the Jobs Cayman portal is something that I have heard expressed before. And like I said, the powers that be, the authorities, they are aware of it and are seeking to correct that as well. One of our listeners, or one of our callers actually, spoke about the fact, talking about overqualifications and the fact that when a work permit holder applies for a job, they're not necessarily seen as being overqualified. And they're actually right. I don't know if how many of you remember the 1990s, early 1990s, an institution known as BCCI, Bank of Credit and Commerce International. There was lots of news in the 90s about that. In July of 1991, regulators shut the bank down as well. At the time, the liquidators, the official liquidators of BCCI in the Cayman Islands, were looking for persons. They needed persons to photocopy documents, to do all sorts of things. It would surprise you to see the number of dive masters in the Cayman Islands at that time. Not only dive masters, but waiters and waitresses who had law degrees from Commonwealth countries who applied for those positions. They were here, they had law degrees, but where were they working? They were working in the dive industry. And I can say that without fear of any successful contradiction that took place, because I, as Chief Immigration Officer, processed many temporary work permits for persons to work in that area because there was such a huge demand. Just for photocopying and things of that nature in the 1990s, early 1990s, they were paying $16 per hour. That was a lot of money in those days, $16 per hour just for photocopying. So we do have persons in the Cayman Islands on work permits who are overqualified. And so I would not contest what that person has said to us. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
I would like to make a few comments.
Sure.
The first one is about the government job portal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough just to advertise the job on the portal. In Canada, for instance, you cannot get a work permit to come into the country unless you go through all the ropes and prove that a Canadian is not qualified to get to do the job.
Mm-hmm.
All the employers who want to bring people into the country, they have to advertise the job with the Canadian Manpower Department. The Manpower Department keeps a file and the card on every employee that they have and every employer that they have. When you go down to register with the Department of Manpower and you fill out the application forms and everything, the Manpower Department has a huge board with all the jobs, not only on their computer system, but in the hall where you can see all the jobs that they have advertised for people to apply to. You go to the board, you choose one. The jobs are numbered, or they have a number, and you put the number on your application on the job that you're applying for after you have registered, and then you go for an interview with one of the people in the Department of Manpower. Here would be works. They then hook you up with the employer. They don't wait till the employer to call them to ask what's on their portal. They give you a card. They give you the address of the employer, and they send you out to the employer.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the employer may be looking for a chief carpenter, a finished carpenter, but you're not one.
Mm-hmm.
The employer will send back and say, "I'm sorry, but this is not the kind of person that we were looking for." And then they will ask if do you have anybody else on your portal that can do this finishing work. You look on your record and see if there are any more people, and you will send him out. If at the end of the day, no, I don't mean the hourly day.
Mm-hmm.
If at the end of the time you cannot fit an employer with an employee, then the employer can apply to the Department of Manpower for a certificate of entry for a person to take the work. Once the employee gets that certificate of entry, he then goes to the immigration department, and the immigration department allows that person to come into Canada to work.
Okay.
It's not just putting the name on the portal. You'll never get an employer and an employee together. You have to go further and send the people who are registered on your portal to the people who have applied on the portal for employees.
Mm-hmm. I think to some extent that may be done here as well.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I have heard of instances where
instances. It has to be the mode of operation, not instances.
Okay, I got
the
what
mode
you're
of
saying.
operation.
Mm-hmm.
Instances, because you'll never be able to place Caymanians, and the employer will always say, I can't find anyone, or this one is too qualified or underqualified. You have to make the effort and send them out to the employer.
But the Doc, the example that you gave, doesn't it waste time if you're looking for a finished carpenter, but you send someone who doesn't have those qualifications? That's wasting both parties' time.
That is not wasting time. The person might have said, "Yes, I'm a finished carpenter, but can't do the job."
Okay. I get what you're saying. So in a way, that person has identified themselves as a finished carpenter.
Exactly.
Okay,
But
got
he might not do the quality work that the employer wants.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in Great Britain is the same thing. You can't come to Britain and as a visitor and get a job. If you want to come there to seek a job, you have to make an application to get a visa to come for an interview.
Mm-hmm.
The visa is good, I think, for 28 days. Within 28 days, you go for the interview, and if you get a job, then you have to leave the island. You have to leave Britain, England, and go back to your home and wait until the job is processed, because they might not give you the job. You might not be your work might not be sanctioned by the Home Office.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so in that way, they don't have to try to get you off the island, out of Britain again, and with expenses to them.
Okay.
The other thing about the articles
Yes, I was going to ask you about that if you had any comments on article chips in Cayman.
Well, the Caymanians did it to themselves. When the Caymanian Bar Association was formed in 1988, that was one of the reasons why the Cayman Association was formed. The Bar Association was formed to look after the welfare of Caymanians coming back, the Caymanian students who were already here in law school.
Mm-hmm.
That was what it was. That was one of the primary reasons was formed, so to make sure that they got a fair shake. We, Mr. Ormond, myself, Orin Marion, Peter Polak, Mr. Levy, and so forth, we made sure that we laid down the law as far as what powers we had, and we made great strides in placing Caymanians and getting Caymanians. You didn't hear, those days Caymanians didn't have any articles.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we liaisoned with people in the immigration department, and they made it quite clear: if you don't hire Caymanians, you're not going to get any work permits. That was the mantra. So, what they did, they undermined the Bar Association, and finally they got it. They got it. They got it to become extinct. They wiped it away finally, and then it was only their association now that has the right now to say how lawyers are going to be admitted to the bar in the Cayman Islands and whatnot. What happens? What happens is that if Cayman had kept part of the Council of Legal Education in the Caribbean, the Caymanian students would have gone to Norman Manley Law School, where they would do the professional exams and be able to call to the bar, and they would not have to go to get articles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see? So, but we didn't do that. They discouraged everything to help the Caymanian lawyer. They discouraged him, and in fact, one law firm outwardly said that they will only hire Caymanians and put them in a corner, and so that they could get work permits. That was their philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So we did it to ourselves. We are not stand-up people. When we get pushed, we just turn our back and then walk away and go to the opposite direction.
Yep.
And we do not stand up and fight for what we have to fight for.
And when we get slapped, we turn the other cheek.
Exactly, turn the other cheek. When I did the bar exams in England, I did pupillage at 10 King's Bench Walk. I spent 1 extra year in England, and I did pupillage at 10 King's Walk. So when I came home, I understood how the court system works and how to go to court and how to conduct my own cases in court.
Doc, I'm going to interrupt you, so we're going to take a commercial break, but I'm going to ask you to hold on so that we can continue this conversation. So just hang in there. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue with Dr. Steve Macfield, so please stay tuned.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
On April 23rd, Pena Duty Free is opening a brand new store. Join us for the launch of Pena Leather Goods and Accessories at 40 Royal Plaza, Edward Street. Shop and experience a selection of high-quality leather bags and accessories by brands such as Kate Spade and Food Lab. Enjoy live entertainment and complimentary drinks and bites. Visit Pena Duty Free Facebook for more information.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We still have Dr. Steve McField on the line. Doc, go right ahead.
And reinforcing what Mr. Billy Samamba said, we are one of the worst for that. We do not like each other. We believe that anybody else from any other place, especially from Europe, are better than we are. We worship them. We will do anything to put them ahead of us. Even our own family will destroy us for them. And that is what they know, and that is why they have such great power in this country. The few of us who have been fighting for all the years for I don't believe in equality because I don't think everybody is equal. But for the right to participate into the system, into the social and economic system, they have destroyed us through our own people. Our own people are our worst enemies. They do not want to see the next one survive. They rejoice when something happened to a next one. They like the gentleman who called the order this morning about the athletes coming back. Nobody came to see them because that's not important to them. That's not important to them. If the athlete has gone there and had fallen down, they would, oh boy, you would hear all kinds of stuff on the radio and TV about them. But we don't like each other, and we don't think each other is important. And when you read the history of the country, there is no reason to believe that it's going to be much better. Because I remember when Captain Peck went over to read the proclamation of Emancipation Proclamation and came on back to the blacks there, to the slaves there. When he read, tell them they were free, to say, we don't want to be free. We want to be slaves to our masters. That is part of our DNA, part of our psychology, part of our subconsciousness, that we believe that everybody else comes from different places, even though if the average person knew that when I went away and all the other people came out and went away and got the degrees in a certain discipline, we all read from the same textbooks that those people that we went to their country read from.
Yes.
And we passed the same exams, and yet they believe that they're better than us, and that for some reason we are not capable. It's the same thing all over the Caribbean with the Caribbean Court of Justice. And the same thing in some countries in becoming their independent and becoming a republic. They're fighting each other for that, fighting each other, and can't get that resolved. It's because they think that if you go to the Privy Council in England, that they must be smarter than the learned people in the Caribbean, and so forth. That is part of what's happening here, and it doesn't surprise me that 40 odd years after I came back, it's worse now than it was when I first came. They did the same thing to me. When I came, they offered me $75 a week to come to work in a law firm because they didn't want me to come to work there. That's how they deterred me from coming to work there. Now they're saying that people are overqualified. But when I came there, they offered me $75 a week. It's a good thing I knew Jim Borden, and Jim Borden got me a job in the court's office as clerk of the courts. And then I excelled from there. But that's what they do. And Caymanians are so disorganized in their minds and their relationship with each other that they don't see that. And it's coming from generation to generation to generation. And as far as I see, as far as the statistics shows me, and as far as what the census tells me, it don't belong now before their voices will be drowned forever.
So true, so true, so true.
So that's the problem that we have, and we're not going to solve. Can you imagine all the law firms here, all the huge law firms here, with some with 56 to 80 lawyers, and you can't get one Caymanian articles? the government's not doing a thing about it. What the government should do is set up their own professional courses here for lawyers, so that they can get called to the bar. That's what the government should be doing. That's what they should be spending the money on the money on, and so forth, and getting their people trained and putting their people in places. And that's one reason why we don't have a large Caymanian law firm, because we don't trust each other. Because I tried that before to get Caymanians all lawyers get together and start a big law firm similar to what the expatriates have, but they don't trust each other. They don't trust their each other's integrity, and we question each other, and they know it. They know it. When I was in England, me and David used to get called on the weekends to go to this place, this briefing center, where people come out to Cayman Islands as teachers and stuff. They would call us there to tell them about the Cayman Islands Briefing Center. Okay. They know about Cayman. They know before they come here, they know what to do. They know when they're on the job how to push the Caymanian down, and how to apply for another quick as they come to apply for a higher job, so that they can block the Caymanians from raising up in the position. That's what they do. And we are so naive that when I talk, when other people talk. When people talk, they say, oh, they say, oh, you know, we don't support them. We don't believe the same thing they believe, and so forth. And that's the reason why they have taken advantage of us and taken over our island now, and we become the hewers of wood and drawers of water in our own country. We become the father now. Can you imagine how proud we were in the 1930s and 40s and 50s? That we went all over the world, and that we were so proud and honest and upright that the biggest country, the most powerful country in the world, gave us a chance not to have a visa to come to their country. Give us a way was through, and so forth. And we lost all that integrity now, and all you can hear is shooting and robberies and things like that, which was not part of our DNA. And we still pussyfooting around here and not making the hard choices of where we got to go. But I gonna tell them, they talk about the first and second and third generation. It's the second, third generation that they have to worry about, because they are going to be destroyed. They don't have the strength that I have and the strength that you had, or when you went to New York and stuff. All 9 million people in the city in New York, 13 million people, and you didn't bow down, and you didn't break down in New York. You fought against the odds and against the competition, and you kept strong, and you kept all the moral principles that they taught us when we left here, and you succeeded. That doesn't happen anymore to us. People, the country that we send money, your father and your uncles and all of my family send money home here to build homes and to buy properties and to support the government. Now people are sending money away from Cayman to their own homes to do the same thing to us, and we still walk around here with our tails behind our legs, complaining, and not one of us will stand up and do anything about it.
So true. Okay, Doc, I want to thank you. Thank you very much for that. I'll be in touch with you for possibly Friday. I'll check the calendar and see, and possibly Friday have you on the show with us as well. We're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Every day in the Cayman Islands, nonprofits and their volunteers work tirelessly, improving our communities and the lives of the people within them.
With GiversPlanet.com, you can make a difference by supporting a fundraising effort or starting your own. Givers Planet provides an online solution to conveniently raise money for your worthy cause. Whether you are fundraising for medical needs, education, animal welfare, youth programs, religious missions, school PTA efforts, or a nonprofit.
Simply create your fundraiser at GiversPlanet.com and spread the word to your local and international supporters so that they can visit and make a secure online donation. Start fundraising online today with GiversPlanet.com.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
It's Kirk Freeport's 50th anniversary, and we're celebrating with you. If it's your 50th birthday in 2022, we have a $50 gift card for you. If you're celebrating your 50th wedding anniversary or higher, it's $500. We'll also donate $50,000 to charities and increase the rewards for store purchases too. Purchases of $500 will receive branded gifts, while purchases of $100 gain entry into our monthly sweepstakes with prizes from luxury brands. View terms and conditions on kirkfreeport.com.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have about half an hour left, or less than half an hour left in the show this morning. This has been your show as a result of our absence for a whole week. We have been asked to please send birthday greetings to Mrs. Ethel Ebanks. She celebrates her 104th birthday tomorrow, the 21st of April. Says Miss Ethel is a long-term resident of Town Hall Road and Captain Curry Drive. It says as her hearing is impaired, anyone wishing to greet her can call 949-1866 and leave a message with her caregiver. Alternatively, visits are possible by persons who have a recent negative lateral flow test for COVID and is wearing a mask as well. So I'm going to repeat that. So Miss Ethel Ebanks, she will celebrate her 104th birthday tomorrow. She's a long-term resident of Town Hall Road and Captain Curry Drive in West Bay. Her hearing is impaired, but if you wish to greet her, you can call 949-1866 and leave a message with her caregiver. Alternatively, visits are possible by persons who have a recent negative lateral flow test for COVID, and you must wear a mask. So do your part. If it's safe, visit her. If not, leave a voice message for Miss Ethel Ebanks, celebrating her 104th birthday tomorrow, the 21st of April. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. I'm thankful for the most part. What I'm calling about this morning is in support to what Dr. Steve was saying a while ago.
Uh-huh.
We are our own worst enemies.
Yep.
And I'm going to give you an example based on my own experience. I got employed with the government in 2006 for a specific job when it came to road works in the Cayman Islands. I got injured in 2007. Went to the doctor. They said light duties for me. 2012, I was reevaluated because I was needed in the BRAC. And I got released from the government, from the doctors. 2014 came back to the Cayman Islands and started road work here again.
Mm-hmm.
In 2019, I got injured again. Injury being much more severe to where I had to be medical boarded. Final medical board for me. I underwent some operations for my shoulders, rotator cuffs, both vibrator nerve damage, you name it, the whole works.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My upper back. The authorities were told and they knew what they were supposed to do as far as government policies are concerned, private and government.
Uh-huh.
They refused to do so after being told that they were late in doing it, but they were still would have still been accepted. They refused to do so to where authorities had to be called in, naming the ombudsman.
Uh-huh.
It's sad to say, but that department had to be investigated by the ombudsman. I'm a Caymanian. It should not have come to that. I spoke to them and said, listen, I'm an injured man. I can no longer operate heavy equipment, which is what I'm used to doing. Let's try to solve this amicably.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they refused to do so. To where the ombudsman investigated them and found them in breach of malpractice. They played games with the ombudsman. Now that's ridiculous. That company it's a statutory authority.
Mm-hmm.
It's being run by Caymanians, so to speak. And those same Caymanians know what the reports from all of the doctors are because I didn't hide anything. Everything was shared.
Mm-hmm.
And they have been refusing. They have been trying to find ways and excuses of canning me and leaving me without anything. It's ridiculous that I'm a Caymanian and I have to get on the air to be louding up the government because at the end of the day, the government is who takes care of all of us. But the government needs to know that there are people that are hired in positions that are not what they say they are. They're not performing their jobs.
Mm-hmm. So as the situation currently exists, has it been resolved?
No, sir. No, sir.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Have you sought outside legal advice on it?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have, sir.
Okay, good. That's good.
And
That's good.
I did not wanted it to come to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I spoke to them and said, listen, let's try to get this thing sorted out in a different way. And I've been refused in every avenue. There have been a bunch of lies and stuff being told and a bunch of dishonesty. In other words, the same thing that Dr. Steve was saying a while ago, crabs in a bucket. Caymanians, we're our own worst enemies. It's sad, very sad, to be having to have the courts in a matter that could have been sorted out without anything else. And in support to what Dr. Steve was saying a while ago, if it had been a white person or a foreigner come inside of here and got injured while at work, determined that the injuries were job-related,
mm-hmm.
the governments and all of the different people in that whatever department would have sorted that person out, and that person would have been on their way, trying to get on with the rest of their lives, however they could with their injuries.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But because of me, a Caymanian, I'm being left in the dark. Nothing is being done. Nothing is trying to be done except by force at the moment.
And it's going to cost, and it eventually could cost the government more in terms of the litigation, because if you're successful, they will certainly have to pay your legal costs as well.
Yes, sir. So I just wanted to get that out there, and people need to know that are working in those departments that what their legal rights are. I mean, what they're really getting through, because at the end of the day, it's a lot of cover-up that these people are covering up. They're not telling their employees the full truth about nothing.
Yeah.
Liabilities and all that sort of stuff. Employees are not aware of things that are going on with them, so they need to know what their position is in these companies that they are being hired to work in.
Mm-hmm. And thank God for the Office of the Ombudsman that we have those guardrails that are in place to keep government entities in check, because without that you would be even in a worse situation. I want to thank you very much for sharing that with us, and if at all possible, keep us updated as to how your particular case is progressing as well. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning again.
Good morning again, my dear.
Okay, I got, but I only heard a bit of his contribution, but I'm thanking Dr. Maxfield for the insight into some of the practices and policies which has us in the Cayman Islands in the position where our people who work hard and who achieve some level of something in the legal profession are still being kept out the door in the 21st century, as if we don't know that something is unholy, ungodly, and wrong in that circumstance. And I'm really not talking to the Johnny come latelys who couldn't get hired in their country, so they come to an easy market with their aggression and their lies and their no. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking about what is 19 around. That we elect now, they can 19 hates, and I hear everything happen there beside maybe 2, 3. Is a lawyer. To what degree and where they got their education from, I don't know. But once you sit on the classroom, you'll be able to pull things out of a sentence. And they can't get together to give us a legal practice which involves Caymanians from the start to the finish. And of course, at the highest of the circumstances, we want to see our own, or I want to see my own. This is my pet peeve.
Yeah.
And I can soon do because I'm old enough. And I hope I see a way forward for us to control this profession and to have judges on the bench. Oh my God, judges on the bench who are Caymanian. We got a law school for how many decades now, and we can't have a judge?
Since we had a law school since what, the 80s, early 80s?
Well, something around that.
Yeah.
And we can't, and this is, we living in the 21st century in the world. And we are so far back. I poor and old, black too. I want everybody who don't know I'm black and proud. And the Caymanian, oh my goodness. We live in this world in the 21st century, and we do not want to come around our own, to uplift our own. I ain't got nothing to give nobody, but I can encourage them, yeah, do it, it stand tall, yeah. Not even a word of encouragement, which don't cost us a dollar or a cent, because we all on email, he's female, she male, and hermaphrodite. So what it costs us is nominal, minimal. And we still can't get ourselves in gear to get that done for our own people who excel. Some of our people who go overseas excel in the institutions in which they study, excel against the local population and the rest of the world. And we bring them home here and we treat them like dirt. And at the highest level, the legal profession, anything higher than that got to be a medical and higher up some scientific stuff that I don't even know the name of. But we have students who excel, and we bring them back to this country, and we commit. You talk about genocide. This is how you kill people without without using a bullet. Anyhow.
And caller, the thing is that we're doing this to our own when we are in a period where we're looking for employees. We're looking for employees. There are more jobs out there than there are people to fill them. And if we can't make Caymanians successful and pave the path for them in an environment that is so fertile, Then can you imagine if there was a drought, what kind of position we would really be in?
But that way I got my breadfruit tree. The guy plant some suckers and some cane. The guy teeth cane from across the road. I got tell them about that.
Yep.
I don't know about the cane without the road. I can't teeth it.
Okay, my dear. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. We have a caller. I have 1 minute before we go to the commercial break. We're going to ask the caller to hold on. I just want to share with you the Truman Bodden Law School. When you go on their website and it talks about their history, it says the Truman Bodden Law School, formerly the Cayman Islands Law School, was founded in Georgetown, Grand Cayman in 1982 by the governor of the Cayman Islands to provide legal training, underscored, for Caymanian individuals seeking to enter the legal profession. The Truman Bodden Law School is part of the Cayman Islands government's portfolio of legal affairs headed by the Attorney General, and all Truman Bodden Law School lecturers are members of the Cayman Islands Attorney General's chambers. And it goes on to talk about what they have delivered and stuff, but I wanted to share that part with you so you see where the responsibility lies. You have heard Mr. Billy talk about this before. It is part of the Cayman Islands government's portfolio of legal affairs headed by the Attorney General. And all lecturers are members of the Cayman Islands Attorney General's chambers. So why don't we make all graduates, Caymanian graduates of the law school who want to be articled, find places for them via the Attorney General's office as well. I know that will be controversial, but I seek your comments on that. Billy, if you're still listening, come back to us on that one as well. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. We will take that caller as soon as we return, so please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Every day in the Cayman Islands, nonprofits and their volunteers work tirelessly, improving our communities and the lives of the people within them.
With GiversPlanet.com, you can make a difference by supporting a fundraising effort or starting your own. Givers Planet provides an online solution to conveniently raise money for your worthy cause. Whether you are fundraising for medical needs, education, animal welfare, youth programs, religious missions, school PTA efforts, or a nonprofit.
Simply create your fundraiser at GiversPlanet.com and spread the word to your local and international supporters so that they can visit and make a secure online donation. Start fundraising online today with GiversPlanet.com.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning. We have two callers on hold. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Ossie. It's me again.
Billy, you heard me. You heard me.
Well, you see, I heard you when you were saying I should come back, but by then I already had my phone to my ear. Yeah. Well, you see, Ossie, I had to call back again, and thanks for allowing me to do that. You see, this is the thing that, even as a non-Caymanian, it riles me up. I was listening to Dr. Steve when he was talking about how some of the common sense things I was saying about articles and what could have been done.
Yeah.
These are things now he is saying that these are things he tried to do. These are things that they already tried to do, but there's always somebody out there pushing to try and make sure that these things don't happen. And then I listened to the other caller who talked about the case which is ongoing. And this is a point I've always tried to emphasize, which is that the Attorney General should not fight cases if the cases are clear. And the only reason that the Attorney General tends to fight these cases is just to see if he can get away with it, because he doesn't have to pay costs. You see, the general rule in the Grand Court is that the AG only pays costs if he brings a case that is totally unreasonable and inarguable.
Okay.
And well, first of all, no judge there is likely to hold that. I think one judge did try to do that, but I think the Court of Appeal undid it. Okay, you see, if a case is clear, people who don't have money to go and pay $300, $400, $500 an hour should not be made to go and fight for cases like that. But you see, the main thing I really wanted to call back was somebody who said, well, why aren't the DPP's office and the Attorney General's chambers, why aren't they, giving greater opportunities? Let me tell you, I was there for 12 years in that portfolio. There is an unwritten policy that Caymanians must not be employed. I can tell you that for a fact. I was there for 12 years. It is not by accident that there are virtually no Caymanians there. In the legislative drafting department, there's one, who is still at the bottom rung of the fair, despite having gotten a master's and has been there for close to now about 13, 14 years. Okay?
Yeah, we know that person. Yes.
Exactly. There's an unwritten policy. That is why even right now we could have gotten a Caymanian Solicitor General, but we never got a Caymanian Solicitor General. We got a status holder to a Solicitor General. It is a problem. It is a policy. They don't want to, because some of the things you see that they do in there, they wouldn't do if you had a Caymanian, particularly a strong Caymanian. And then the other caller says something about the genocide. You see, to me, the way I think of it is more like endangered species. You see, in Cayman, Department of the Environment are busy trying to protect this sparrow or bird, which is only found in Cayman. If your leg is broken, they take it to the vet and this and that and so on. Okay, you are protecting those endangered species. How about you yourself?
Yes.
You're endangered species.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Exactly. And all these things really, and there are people in the community who understand these things, like Dr. Steve, or Billy Adam, the Benny Warrens Jr., the young ones. There are people who understand these issues, but just the politicians are not there to be able to support them. Let me close on a controversial point. There has been no attempt, for example, to get Caymanians to really take control of legislative drafting. And I don't think that they can ever take control fully. Probably they can take 30% or 50%, That would be good. I have a friend, Ossie, who comes from one of these big countries, Commonwealth countries. And he told me at one international conference, he said he was approached when he was working in a developing country. He comes from a developed Commonwealth country, but he was working on a project in a developing country. He told me that he was approached by a spying agency from one of the bigger Commonwealth countries to spy for them, to tell them what legislation was in the pipeline, because that would give them a certain advantage. And he told me, he said he refused. And yet in Cayman, we don't seem to even want to have Caymanians do that. In Canada here, you can't draft legislation unless you are a Canadian citizen. And very often a born and bred Canadian citizen. But yet in Cayman, we just allow that department to bring people in and train them, and Caymanians are not in charge of that.
And we hear stories about even law firms drafting legislation for government as well. Billy, I want to thank you. Thank you very much for that. I want to grab the last caller.
Thank you.
Okay. We lost the other caller hung up, Ms. Susan. That's fine. We're going to close the phone lines off now because one of our listeners has asked me to, okay, let me find it. Okay, here. He says, could you please clarify the role of the ombudsman for your listeners? Is the role independent, and does it handle employee complaints that have not been addressed by this Cayman Islands government? So when on their website, and I'm glad to see that they have updated their website. So we have Miss Sharon Rolston featured with her staff there now. That was a quick update, and we need that to happen in many more websites in the government of the Cayman Islands, as well. But I'm glad that they have updated that, and Miss Sharon Rolston is prominently featured there. It says the ombudsman is an impartial and independent office of Parliament that acts as the Cayman Islands guardian of fairness, transparency, and accountability. So they are the guardians of government being fair, government being transparent, and government being accountable. So they hear government complaints, says if you're dissatisfied with a government decision or feel you were not treated fairly and you have tried to resolve the matter through the government's internal complaints process unsuccessfully, you may make a complaint to our office. Police complaints, you may make a complaint about the conduct of a police officer at any police station or directly to the office of the ombudsman. Freedom of information. If the government has refused to disclose records you requested, you may appeal the decision to the office of the ombudsman. They will hear your appeal and decide whether the records should be disclosed. Whistleblowing. If you are concerned that your employer is acting improperly, you may disclose the improper conduct to us, and you will be protected against any detrimental action taken by your employer in reprisal for your disclosure. If you're being data protection, talks about the fact that the Data Protection Act gives you control of your personal data and protects you against its misuse by the public and the private sector, as well as if we receive a complaint, disclosure, or appeal, we will inform you as soon as possible. We will provide you with details about the issue, and you will have an opportunity to provide a detailed response. Very quickly, I want to share this with you. One of the tools that we have in our immigration legislation to help to advance and to protect Caymanians is something called, referred to as Regulation 6. If you are an employer, you may be familiar with that. If you are an employee, a Caymanian employee, you may be familiar with it as well, because if you have been identified as a person who has been earmarked for promotion or to replace a work permit holder, then you're normally required to sign a form accepting that role and the terms and conditions as well. So, Regulation 6 basically is training and development, and it says that the board or the chief immigration officer may require an applicant for the grant or renewal of a work permit to provide details of any program that he or she has that is designed to ensure that Caymanians are provided with the instructions and practical experience necessary to make them fully qualified to carry out the job concerned satisfactorily and as expeditiously as possible. The absence of such a program or the failure to implement such a program without reasonable cause constitutes a ground for denying the grant or renewal of a work permit. And it goes on to say that where the director of the National Workforce Development Agency is satisfied that there are insufficient Caymanians or persons legally and ordinary resident in the islands to meet an expected demand for persons to fill jobs in any profession, trade, or industry, or in relation to a particular project, sorry about that, or enterprise, it may, in consultation with the board or the chief immigration officer, establish arrangements with authorities outside of the islands for the selection there of persons ready, willing, and able to fill those jobs for the purpose of recommending their recruitment to prospective employers within the islands. But the main part of that has to do with the Regulation 6 and identifying Caymanians. Now, we're going to talk. I want to talk more about that. And on Friday, if I have no guests, and if we have Dr. Steve Macfield in the studio with me, I want to talk about that Regulation 6, how it is designed to work, whether or not it is working in the Cayman Islands, and what can we do to ensure that this Regulation 6 is updated to the point where it is effectively working for Caymanians. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to Worthy Charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join whoever's guest hosting for Sterling Drain, Ebanks, Mr. Raymond Singh, Kathy. Miss Catherine Miller will be guest hosting for Sterling Drain Banks this afternoon, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And giversplanet.com. Cayman's online platform for fundraising and charitable donations.
Radio Cayman.